The thing is, I watch people at the local tavern buy $300 worth of scratch tickets and win 18 bucks. I could throw it away doing like anything else. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather play bingo.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog Fantasy. You smash the like while you're here. You sub to the channel, and if you're feeling generous, leave a rating and review on the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Okay? Really help out the show. Code Mayo at Underdog Fantasy, by the way, will get you a deposit match of up to $100. It is that time of year to crack out the annual team for our Kentucky Derby picks for the year. Cam Stewart on the line. Ben Rasa on the line. Cam, this is your time to shine. Triple Crown season.
Nice to see Ben again. I love the man. I love his golf. The picks, I always like them because he has like a lot of weirdos like I take, Pat. It's a pleasure to see you. It's been a long time. I feel like we're getting the family back together. Really understated Kentucky Derby this year. I think Ben will agree. Like with all the bad news with horse racing and Baffert, whatever, like you don't really hear any previews or anything. So I'm glad we're doing this because this is probably the most understated Kentucky Derby I can remember. I used to go to Vegas with Lisa and we'd like go in a party room and we go to Kentucky Derby parties and stuff like that. And people were talking like, I haven't heard anything. I don't know how Ben feels about it, but very understated this year. It feels like it's kind of under the radar, Pat. Very, very odd.
Would you agree, Ben?
I would, yeah. Listen, we got the band back together. I couldn't be more excited. Truly one of my favorite shows of the year. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times leading up to the Derby, even in the mainstream, I know not everyone's a big horse person, but there's a horse or a storyline that's, hey, is this horse going to do it? It is quiet out there. You're not getting a lot, and I kind of like it because maybe we can find some of those angles. Maybe it's one of these weird years, hopefully no scratches. We've seen that in recent years where someone gets knocked out late. I'm ready to break it down, though. I'm actually very excited.
So what do you think the reason is for the lack of mainstream coverage of the Derby? I mean, I have it in my calendar every year and it pops up. I'm not really following horse racing all that much. I want to get amped for the Derby, and then hopefully we can hit a winner and try to translate that through. And, when was the last time?
I don't want to be Debbie Downer, Pat, but like death of horses, shady trainers, like all the things that are happening, like Santa Anita, Baffert, like it's kind of like the way boxing went, with bad officiating and stuff like that. And people are like, what's going on here? Like after a while, people are just like, we all know horse racing. There's going to be trainers. Horses are getting juice. Like it's part of the game. Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But we have to look at the severity of some of the things that have happened, right? And I still love the sport, but there's a lot of bad people in it. And I think Ben would attest to that too. And, there's still animals that we loved. Hell, I owned a horse. Remember me and Morency? We owned a horse, Conflict Diamond, and he was like a friend. And Paul knows, Shag knows, Cody's dad got us the horse, and like we didn't want to hurt him. Like he had a hurt hoof. We didn't want to throw him out there. But these guys are different people. A lot of these guys are like, they just think about money, rich, fame, whatever. Like I'm not going to say there's great people in the horse racing industry that I've talked to when I went to Belmont, and there's bad dudes. That's my opinion.
Ben, you usually track this stuff year round. Have you been on the scene trying to figure out which horses are which now?
I've been on the scene a little. I went down to Gulfstream to check out what I needed to do up there. And yeah, I mean, listen, I do think ultimately, in some ways, for better or worse, when you have these like villain stories, sometimes that does drum, it's the old like bad, no press is bad press and stuff, but it does hang a black cloud over the whole event. And I'm hoping we're going to just get some horses to emerge and a triple crown threat or something like that, rather than the big stories of a horse got DQ'd, a horse broke down, just trainers in trouble. Every time horse racing is in the news, it's for all the wrong reasons.
Well, let's get to the post position and odds, because I remember we tried this one year and they just kept like kicking the can down the road for the post positions. We were like, yeah, maybe if we do it on a Thursday, they'll be out. They just weren't, but they're out. As of right now, we got corresponding odds to go along with it. So in the one slot, the post positions is Dornach at 25-1. Sierra Leone, a favorite or co-favorite in post position 2 at 2.5-1. Mystic Dan, 25-1 from the 3 hole. Catching Freedom, 10-1. Catalytic, 40 to 1. Just Steel, 25 to 1. Honor Marie, 20 to 1. Just a touch. Not just the tip, that's just the touch, is 14 to 1. Encino, not man, just Encino, 25 to 1. T.O. Password. Got Terrell Owens from Japan on the scene. We got him at 25 to 1. Forever Young, also from Japan, 8 to 1. So the favored of the Japanese horses. Track Phenom, 25 to 1. West Saratoga, your guy, I'm guessing, Rasa, 50 to 1. Endlessly, 20 to 1. Domestic Product, 25 to 1. Graham Moe the first, 66 to 1, the longest shot horse in the Derby this year. Fierceness, 3 to 1. Stronghold, 14 to 1. Resilience, 20 to 1. And Society Man at 25 to 1. Opened at 50 to 1, down to 25 to 1, Ben. What do you know about Society Man?
Not much. Frankie Dettori, who's an amazing jockey. I'll give him that. But yeah, I'm just, not that I would ever hope for scratches, but one of the horses that's not in is named Mugatu, and that is a sick name, and I kind of want him to get in the race, even though I would assume he would have no shot, but that's quite a name.
Mugatu as the first alternate in the field?
Yeah, I believe he's the first or second alternate.
So what sticks out to you immediately, Cam, between the odds and the post position? Are you one of the people that has, hey, this post position can't win, this post position can't win, it's always one of these trends until it actually happens, then we have to throw it all out?
Yeah, well, Ben knows when you have a race with this many horses, the post position is key. You're going to get boxed out. You're going to have a long trip. Like you're in the 19 hole. It's a problem. Like, you know what I mean? You're in the one. You need you got to get out there quick. You don't want to get behind horses. You have to basically have a perfect trip. That's the problem with this race. And that's why we have underdogs and crazy things happening, man. It's basically like Frogger out there. You got a lot of traffic. You got to be a really good jockey. You got to hit your spots, and you got to get through it and make your move at the right time. Pat, I will say this, though. I think it's interesting, too. And Ben, I think I might agree. There's no cold cut. Like, there's no favorite. Like, people are looking at these horses, and I'm like, you can make a case for a lot of horses. Even the favorites, they're not perfect. Like, it's one of those situations where I think we can find a mid-range horse this year. I like my horse. I'll bring it up, but I'm not taking the favorite in the race. He's going to be on my card, but there's a couple horses that I like, 8 to 1, 20 to 1 type of bets.
How do you feel about it, Ben? Because we do have two horses that are out in front of everyone else. So I mentioned Sierra Leone and Fierceness are the two favorites coming in. And then it is a pretty steep drop off to Forever Young at 8 to 1.
Yeah, I think it's pretty wide open. And I also have a longer shot that's going to factor into me. I think it always starts with horses at short odds. They're short odds for a reason. Sierra Leone, interesting country, but when you look at the horse coming out of the 2-hole, deep closer. Cam already mentioned this. You might be the best horse if you're blocked. There's nothing you can do when you run like that. It's a dangerous game in a field like this. I think Fierceness is trickier because if you look at speed figures, if you're someone that does that, his speed figures are the best. If he runs like that, it's going to be hard to beat him, but it doesn't always work like that. And at the Florida Derby, it did, but I think this is pretty wide open. There is not we never got to see what Forte could have done because he scratched, but there's not that horse where everyone's like, can anyone beat him? I don't think that's the case this year.
Fierceness is inconsistent, right, Ben? Like if he runs his race, he'll win, but I can't put all my eggs in that basket. I think we have to put him somewhere. But when I'm looking at a horse, Pat, Catching Freedom, to me, the third choice, and Ben, we do look at numbers. This guy's buyer figure has gone up 5 or more points every race. He is peaking. He is getting better and better and better and better. A very dangerous horse, and that price is nice to me too. I think, that's a steal. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Catching Freedom and Sierra Leone, I think, are very, very dangerous horses. But I like Catching Freedom's price. I don't know how Ben feels about this horse, but this horse is going to be win, place, and show with me. I'm a big fan.
Would you go down that route at 10 to 1, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, so many little things check out. Brad Cox, big fan of the trainer. Flavian Pratt, big fan of the jockey. Speed figures, I think, Cam, you mentioned it. It's not just about where are you at? If you're progressing, these are young horses. Like, you can be getting better at the right time. You can be peaking at the right time. Louisiana Derby, he looked the horse that I like as well, who's a bomb, is getting better, and he's going to need to continue to get better. But if you're peaking at the right time, that's really what you need to do. So I like that because the odds haven't caught on, where fierceness has already hit that ceiling. He showed he's a monster when he wants to be, but you're paying for that. And I think you have to factor that in.
So who is the horse that you like, Ben?
So the horse that I like, and again, you have to use some of these Sierra Leone fierceness types, but the horse, the 18 horse Stronghold, is a horse that I think is a true wild card. He's probably going to be a bomb. He's had 6 starts. He was first in 3. He was second in 3. He's a Go Sapper horse, who is my favorite horse of all time. Love Go Sapper kids. Won the Santa Anita Derby. Best race was his last race. And I think he's just under the radar. Now, maybe he can't rise to this level. I don't know. But if he continues kind of like Catching Freedom to incrementally get better, his best race of his whole career could be this race. And I like that about him.
So we can make this pretty easy. Just do Catching Freedom at 10-1, Stronghold at 14-1, cross our fingers and pray for the best, Cam?
We can, but we don't. We have to see, Pat. That's the problem. If Fierceness or Sierra Leone win and we don't have the chalk with it, the thing will still blow up the tote board. That's why Ben and I talk about when you like a big horse, you box and hope that your horse comes in. We want the big dog. We want the Sierra Leone 3rd, 4th, or whatever. If we're going to do a Superfecta, 4 horses, try with 3, anything like that. I have to get Ben's opinion. I also like the 18 horse. I think he's very dangerous at that price. How do you feel about Honor Marie, Ben? How do you feel about that horse? It's kind of like a wild card to me. I don't know what to think, but it's jumping out at me. Honor Marie and Forever Young are kind of 2 horses that I'm looking at going, I might have to add these horses. So
Forever Young, that's the real. Anytime you have the horse, he's the Japanese horse, and he's running in the Emirates and whatnot. It's really hard to know either way. I think it could be a positive or negative because you can say he has to ship over here. Mm-hmm. Who the hell is he running against? But we don't know, and that's a good uncertainty to me. In horse racing is a really good thing because the price that you can get, and Cam, taking those shots with those type of tries or boxes, even with exactas and whatnot, it only takes a couple of weird permutations and you can have an exponentially gigantic ticket. So Forever Young, if you're using a bunch of horses, I think should be included.
Do you think that they deserve to be the favorite over the other Japanese horse?
So they should just have those 2 run a little appetizer match race style.
Matsuyama versus him. Who do we got? Hideki.
Yeah, T.O. Password. I don't know much about that horse.
Either.
Yeah.
What's T.O. stand for? You're not Terrell Owens. Like what is it, Pat? I like it's like Tokyo, like T.O. with whatever without the KYO. Like what's T.O. Password?
Well, it's capital T.
Show?
It's capital T space capital O. So it's not like an abbreviation. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Just T.O.
I got no clue. Yeah, T.O.
Ben, here's one for you.
Forever Young.
What is the capital of Sierra Leone?
Freetown.
That is correct.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Ben Rasa.
Yeah.
Golf, DFS, horses, Jeopardy. Put him in.
Tried that. But I don't know why the horse is named Sierra Leone, but it's got a shot.
Big time.
Okay, so that's basically 20-1 and below, just throwing out some of those. In terms of long shots, Cam, were there any of the horses that were on your radar?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know the weather. Maybe I should have done a little bit more research. I basically just broke down the horses, looked at their races, stuff like that. I like Ben talks about connections are very important, but Mystic Dan, if it's very sloppy and wet, that's a horse that can run well in the slop. His mutter was a mutter. Is just done well in soft tracks, wet conditions. So that's a horse if the conditions get a little bit out of control, Pat. If there's rain and slop, I think Mystic Dan is going to be a part of my team.
Mystic Dan. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, he's another one. He kind of like fierceness in the sense his best races, the speed figures are like ridiculous. When he doesn't run well, he's not even close. And that's a tricky thing. I'm not going to say if it rains that Sierra Leone has no chance, but this is a real thing. When you're getting mud kicked in your face by 19 other horses, it sucks. And as a jockey, you're going to have like 30 goggles on and you're going to be throwing them off. So these horses that can get a clean break and get out to the front in that deep mud on the rail, you don't want to be in those situations. So a horse like Mystic Dan or some of these horses that are more comfortable not navigating traffic, if it rains, I think have even more of an advantage.
Looking at the advanced forecast right now, it looks like they'll have about 1/5 of an inch of rain on Friday, and that is the only rain throughout the course of the week. So, I mean, I pay attention to it going up until the race actually goes off, but it doesn't look like there's going to be like a downpour anywhere to really mud up the track.
Yeah, but Ben's right though. That if there's any type of like a soft track like on the rail, like that's deep stuff. I don't know, Pat. I got to be honest with you. Like you talk about NASCAR drivers, Formula One drivers. Like I don't know what these jockeys like. I'm scared to like just ride a horse, let alone wear 30 goggles when you're getting mud kicked up in your face. It's a dangerous game, and this is what we're talking about with all these horses here. So many things have to go right, and that's why the jockey very, very important. You can't panic. You got to make a move. It's just one of those things. It's basically in the Kentucky Derby, Ben knows, perfect trip. Like you need so many things to work in your favor. It's luck based too. You have to have skill, but you have to have luck. You can't get boxed in. You can't have, another horse cut you off. A lot of weird things can happen. And yeah, that's why it's a crazy race. And that's why we get so many huge payouts. And that's why we got to throw a couple long shots in. Remember, we've had Mind That Bird. We've had what's the one? Lucky Strike? What was it?
Strike? Rich Strike. Remember that
Rich
one?
Strike. Yeah, I thought it was a Smokes. Lucky Strike. I was thinking about smoking. But yeah, Rich Strike. Horse like, Pat, it was basically like a junior team beating an NHL team or like, a bunch of jobbers at the YMCA beating like the Denver Nuggets. Like the fact that won with like, right, Ben? Like the jockey, anything. That horse didn't even have get a sniff. It was like, that was the last. He had the worst odds, I think, ever. Did he not?
He wasn't even in the race. We did the show. He wasn't in the race. So a horse fell in the paddock. Yes. My horse, naturally. And then, of course. And then, Rich Strike just enters the race and wins.
Yeah. Crazy.
It all kind of blends together with me. So in terms of favorites versus long shots the past few years, it does feel like it has leaned mid-tier and long shots, hasn't it, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks to, Cam, just the variance of this race. You can be the best horse and you still probably won't win because being the best horse is a part of it, a large part of it. Everything has to break right. And, unless you're an absolute, justified one of these horses where it seems like inevitable. And I don't think that's in this field. It has been, Mage last year wasn't crazy to come up with, but he certainly wasn't the horse either.
No, I think he was 16-1, something like that.
It was a good price. Yep. Mage has been, that's the whole thing. And the thing about fierceness is like, you could see Ben's right. Like this horse can blow these guys away, or he could like finish mid pack and bad things can happen. Like maybe even at the bottom. That's the whole reason why we have to take underdogs in this race, because anything can happen. And a lot of these casual bettors, Pat, like you've seen this, you hit a try or a super, you could like own property. It's one of those things. If you have the right horse in there, like say the 18 comes in with us, you know what I mean? And we have the right combination. Like this could be life-changing money. That's the thing. That's why it's almost like buying a lottery ticket. You have to do it. And, you stick to it because not all the favorites are going to do well in this race. Probably one of them, but we don't know what one. It's a very, very tough game. But I'll tell you, this Catching Freedom horse to me, that price, I think 8-1 is a very... What do you got? 10, Pat? Right 10. Now? Do you got 10?
10.
Wow, that's incredible to me. But for a horse that's advancing and progressing every trip, I think that's good. Ben's horse has a lot of the same characteristics, and those are horses I want to be involved in. I want to take a horse that's peaking. I want to take a horse that's hot. I think the Japanese horse is very dangerous as well. Like they were, from what I've been reading, Ben, and you know more about it than me. They're saying this is like the best. Usually imports don't do well, but they're saying this could be the best one. So I think it's something that we have to pay significant attention to.
Would you say that your sound investment advice is to always buy lottery tickets? Because that's what I got out of that.
I buy lottery. I got to be honest with you, lottery tickets, like I do it, and it's a fool's game. The thing is
about scratch offs.
Oh, scratch offs. That means you're just like waiting to buy crack. Like you buy scratch tickets. Like I'm just like, I watch guys pour in there, Pat, like late night Nevada, empty the case type of guys. Like, just get a ball. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's just one of those situations where, what are you going to win? The best number in the thing is like $50 too, and you're buying. The thing is, I watch people at the local tavern buy $300 worth of scratch tickets and win $18. I could throw it away doing like anything else. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather play bingo for fuck's sakes. At least in bingo, when I was on a cruise ship, when I won legs 11, I won 600 pounds. You know what I mean? It was like a British money. I'm like, hey, this is fun. I just won $1,000 playing bingo. I think I have a better chance than the lottery tickets. And the thing about lottery tickets that really pisses me off is, sure, free ticket, free ticket, free ticket. Yeah, I bought that. Like, what are we doing here? And this cash for gold. Ooh, you got 20 winners. You know how many tickets they print? Are we fucking dumb? Lottery tickets are for tools. But then again, I bet on the Leafs. So who's the bigger idiot? Me.
If I had to give you one guess, Ben, of the person I know who plays the most scratch tickets, who do you think it would be?
So I know what you're gonna. The real answer is actually me, but it's Tim. But yeah, I got bad habits with scratch tickets.
I buy them too. I'm just saying,
It's
like,
such a bad
just
habit.
give my like do something. Like, I could have bought a bottle of vodka. I could have bought anything. I could have bought a nice bobblehead. I could have done cat golf balls. I don't know. Like, I'm buying. Like, you're buying scratch tickets. Like, I go to this bar, Pat, and let me tell you, you're a pretty classy guy. I'm not sure if you're going, but I like the people there. I'm kind of like, you know, they're nice to me. They're all old curmudgeons, and you know, we sit down and talk about Motorhead and like other stuff, and I really enjoy the crowd. Like, it's cool. These guys are just weathered, hardcore people. But there's a couple people roll in there with their Nevada tickets and shit, and it's kind of depressing. Like, I've never seen anybody win. And actually, one person told me a story. They won, and then they pissed away all the money because they're even hooked again. They think there's got to be more out there. That's the problem with gambling. Greed. We think we're going to win once, you're going to win again. The worst thing that ever happened to me, Ben, when I was a little fucking kid, I was at the mall. The shit mall, actually, where the bar is in the mall that I go to. What kind of man drinks at a strip like mall bar? Me. That's my hometown local. And the beers are cheap, $4. $4. That's insane. In Toronto, I'm paying $20 for a Guinness. Long story short, I'm a kid. I go buy a lottery ticket. They shouldn't have sold it to me. Like, you're whatever, $12. I go, it's for my mom. Back in the day, they didn't give a shit. And I won $100 on pot of gold. Ever since that ticket, the first ticket I bought, that's the worst thing that could have happened. I wish I lost that ticket, and maybe my gambling addiction would have been a little bit, I'm not going to say it's not going to be there. When I was a kid working at a golf course, I'm betting my allowance money and bags of candy with my friends. All the guys I grew up with, we all gamble, but let's just say it wouldn't have been as insane as it is. Winning early is the worst thing, because then you think, hey, this is easy. It's not. It's kind of hard.
I actually subscribe to the exact same theory, because the very first time I walked into a casino, I think I won like $700 or something like that after putting in 50. I was like, well, this is going to happen every time I come. So why wouldn't I come all the time and just print money over and over? Then you like lose the next 20 times that you go in. Ben, there should be some sort of rigged rule where if it is your first time making a sports bet, going to a casino, playing a scratch-off ticket, whatever it might be, that you have to automatically lose so you understand what it's like.
I would love that, because, yeah, I'm the same. When I was super little, getting dragged to Saratoga, I'm picking my favorite color. The horse wins by 30 lengths. Then I learned about all this garbage. I haven't had a winner since 2010. It's like, it's unbelievable.
It is. The more you know, like, the worse it is. It's a paralysis by analysis. And I'm going to tell you, Pat, I'll never forget my buddy. This is the best. We go to Vegas. This guy's on a heater. We're in the elevator. Guy's like wasted, won like $2,000. Like, this town make money. Cue it up. 8 hours later, okay, can you lend me $5,000? Yeah, there it is, pal. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the thing. The guy won huge, pissed it all away, got desperate, lost more. We've all been there. The tears at the ATM, the begging, the Visa. Oh, dude, you should have seen me in Windsor Casino, Pat. Like, and then I went to Greektown in Detroit. I'm like, oh, can I get an advance on my Visa? Like, bad things happen, man. Like, you mix alcohol and bad decisions. But anyway, we're talking horses, and yes, my tip to everybody would be lose your first bet. It's probably the best thing that could happen to you.
The Pat Mayo Experience is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes you need to get something off your chest. Lord knows I do. And one of the biggest things that can cause is big stressors in our life. Whether they're big or they're small, bottling it all up can really start to affect us very negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. And it's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries and really start to affect your life in a positive way. And it might even be some stuff that you're not even really thinking about that you can unlock and really start to improve your life for the better. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge if you're not liking it. So, get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/PatMayo today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PatMayo. Ben, can you explain the different types of wagers that we can be making this week? Because I think a lot of people tune in to the Kentucky Derby. They either just want to bet on a horse, but then they'll hear Cam saying, well, we need to box this guy and that guy and this guy. So what are the different types of bets that we can make at the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, so obviously the super simple, if you want to pick a winner, you're betting to win. You pick the winner, you win, but the upside is capped. I think where it gets fun and unique is starting to try to pick the order of the finish. So if you want to say, I want to pick the winner, but also the horse that comes in second, that's an exacta, 1 and 2. You can go for a third leg, first, second, and third, a trifecta. And then you could even do a fourth leg, which is a superfecta. And I think the point to know is that you have to get the exact order. You know, if it comes 7-1-4 and you have 4-1-7, that's a loser. And that's why the term boxing all the combinations comes into play. If you box 7-1-4, you have 7-1-4, 1-7-4, 4-7-1, every different combination. So you just know if those horses run in the top 3, you've got it. Now it costs more money, but when a race like this, I think you honestly really should box because it's almost impossible to pinpoint, is the horse coming in second or third? I mean, how are you really supposed to do that?
That's a great point, Ben. And Pat, you got to play like that ticket will start costing you money because it goes up exponentially.
Yes.
So if you're not rich, you can do a 10-cent super, a 20 cent, 50 cent, right? Because once you start adding horses, it gets crazy. So that's the whole thing. Ben is right. Imagine having like the first 4 horses and you didn't box them and you got an 18-1 in there, a 20, whatever. I would like put my head through a window. Like I would literally flip because you're going to see the tote board and you're going to absolutely like shit your pants. And you're going to be like literally thinking about this. You will never have a good night's sleep for a very long time because it will pay boxcars. So I think buying a super and a try is something we need to do. And I think we don't have to do it for the maximum. And it also makes the race more fun. Ben's right. Like we can bet a horse to win, which we will. We'll bet if I'm taking a 20-1, Pat, like even catching freedom at 10, I'll bet him win place show. You know what I mean? But I think we have to put 4 horses in, 5 horses. It's hard to hit 4, like 5, and make it lesser of a try or super to try to hit some cash.
So let's try to do that. Let's try to make a boxed trifecta to see what we can do. We hit big on one of these one year. I think it was the first year that we did the show.
Yeah, and then after that, we haven't won shit.
No, we haven't won anything since then. But I just remember, I did it online. It's like I opened it up the next day. I totally forgot about it. After the race was done, I had like $5,000 in my account. And it was like, this is fantastic. Well, I'll continue to bet on horses. I think I lost back that entire $5,000 because, of course, the first time you try to do something, obviously you win. So if it is your first time watching, you're almost guaranteed to win. I suppose that's how it works, and then you'll just lose all the money back over time. Right. So let's try to do this. What do we want to do? So let's do a try. So we'll do first line, second line, third line. And the numbers will correspond to the post placements that we have on everyone. So the 1 horse or the 2 horse would be Sierra Leone, which would be the favorite, and that's how we'll do this. So do we want to nominate some horses to go on our first line for the winning slot, Ben?
So even though I think he's beatable, I think it would be foolish not to include Fierceness. He's a good horse. I think he will be there, and I think he hits the board. Do I think he wins? Honestly, no, I don't. But I think in a try, you want him in there, and you hope he comes in third because your payout's going to be much bigger than if he wins the race. But I think to get things started, you really want to decide, do you want Fierceness? And to me, the answer would be yes.
So the 17 horse is going into the 1, 2, and 3 for the box. Do we want to put on the ones that we had talked about a little bit earlier, Cam? So Catching Freedom, yes. Stronghold, and Mystic Dan?
I think we got to put Ben's horse in Stronghold. He's the one that really likes that horse, and I respect his opinion. I'm not getting off Catching Freedom. and we could figure out what other one to add. Because having the top 3 in a try is tough. Like when I do a super box, I want 5 or 6, not 4. There's too many horses running in this race, Pat. As I said, the ticket will cost you more, but you can knock it down to a 10-cent super, something along those lines. I don't know how much would that pay, Ben? You're very good at math. 6 horses, 10-cent super is how much?
So 6 times, yeah, that would be
36.
Yeah, 36. 360 times 0.1. Yeah,
$36.
So
It's
to
not-
play it for $1 would be $360.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. And then if I win, Pat, I'll come visit you in Halifax with property, and I'll set up my own studio.
Yeah, you could buy some balloons on your property and float it all the way out here if you wanted to.
I really could. That'd be the best.
So
I'll
we
buy
got
a horse right out there.
So we got 3 horses in so far, the 17, 18, and 4 horse. So that's Catching Freedom, Stronghold, and Fierceness. So should we throw, Ben, 2 more horses into here?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2. Honestly, this is where I think you what I would say is this: risk tolerance upside. The prudent move, I think for a lot of people would be to put Sierra Leone in there. I would rather, if I had a vote, roll the dice and throw the Japanese horse in there.
I agree.
We don't know. Let's get dangerous. Why not? Forever Young is a wild card. And if he ever won this race, and now we've got Fierceness included, we've got a couple of our favorite horses. Now we're building a picture of serious damage rather than, yeah, do we have a better shot with Sierra Leone? Sure. But who wants to hit a try where it's the 2 favorites and one other horse? I'd rather go for it.
Agreed. And that's the horse I wanted too, Ben. We're in complete agreement.
Let's go.
Pat, throw Forever Young in there. He's a wild card. It's a good price. Let's do it. We're here to gamble, and if it comes in, the bottom line is what Ben said. If we have Fierceness, we want him if we're doing a try, we want him 3rd. And we want these other 2 bombs to come in, and we'll be very, very happy with the results. And yeah, Pat, you'll see another 5 dimes in your account. Good for business, good for your kid, good for your family, good for the Mayos.
Well, so we'll throw the 11 horse in. Do we want to throw in a long shot, like a bomb into here, just in case it hits the board?
I'm gonna, because that's the way I roll. But I think 4, if we're doing a try, Ben's right. You do 4 when you need 3. If you do a super, you do 5 or 6 when you need 4. Depends on your bankroll. But having 4 exact horses is almost impossible. So that's why you have to add. It's gonna be hard to hit a exacta in this race, Ben, let alone a winner. Like, you know what I mean? A winner's hard and exacta's hard. A try is very difficult. You hit a super. Like, it's going to be one of the best days of your life if you put a lot of money on it. But I think we should add 1 more. But I'm going to see where Ben wants to go. Do we add Sierra Leone? No, I don't. I'm kind of with you. I want to try something else.
Yeah, Ben, I was going to say if we throw on 1 more horse, it has to be 20 to 1 or above.
So, you know what I think is kind of interesting in this race? There's a horse named Domestic Product, a long shot, and I get it. But what I don't get, you got Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz combination. How often do we say that combination on a long shot? Almost never on the day-to-day. You got 2 of the best right there linking up with Domestic Product. And I don't know what to make of the horse, to be honest, in the 15 hole. But if I was going to bank on a type of bomb, I would at least want to say, okay, I got an elite jockey or an elite trainer, something like that. And in that horse, you got both.
Agreed.
So
yes.
let's throw on the 15 then. So there's our box. We got 5 for a box trifecta. We have 4, 11, 15, 17, and 18 in all 3 spots. So
Can you repeat that, Pat? Sorry, I'm writing this down on my computer here. 4, 11.
4, 11, 15.
Yep.
17 and 18.
18. Oh yeah, like it. You get me all excited, getting warm and fuzzy. Imagine this comes in.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's already won. We should just spend the money now.
It's the best.
So that's what we're doing for this. Do you always have a tip for the Oaks as well, Ben? You got anything for that?
Oh yeah, Ben.
The Oaks. So if there is a race that's going to be affected by rain, it might be the Oaks. You mentioned Friday, and that is, so there's a horse, Ways and Means. Obviously, it's a girl because they're all girls. Ways and Means ran in Saratoga, kind of just had the eye on the horse. Don't know the whole field, I'll be honest, but Ways and Means, if you're doing a double, that's another type of bet where you're picking the winner, just the winner, but of 2 races, either consecutively or you could do an Oaks Derby double. Ways and Means is a horse that I'm definitely going to use with Cam's horse and with my horse. Those will be really nice doubles if she happens to come in.
Ways and Means plus Stronghold, winner of the Oaks and Derby, pays 120 to 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
there
That's
it
like a
is.
standard Bez ticket. Come on now.
Yeah, you want to buy a Powerball or Lotto 649? At least we got kind of a shot at 120 to 1. So I'm in.
I mean, this has better odds than the golfer I bet on Lonto Griffin this week. So,
Oh yeah. How's nasty mate Lashley doing when I need him at 150 to 1? Just can't get it done.
No.
That guy's pissing me off. Anyway, did you have McElroy last week?
no.
No. God, no.
I did have.
I've come second and third, Pat, like almost every damn time this year. I know Ben, he's been close to. Like I had Aberg at the Masters, puts one in the water. I'm like, here we go again. Scotty Scheffler. I just can't, like, I just should bet the guy. He's like, it's just, anyway, but this is a horse show. But man, that guy, if he wasn't existing, I'd be loaded.
Well, I mean, we're done, I think, with the horse portion of this. We can talk this through if you'd like. I have a feeling that the moment everyone collectively decides, Ben, that they're just, you know what? Scotty's going to win every tournament. Let's all bet Scotty. That's when he sucks.
Yep.
I might just, for the good of society, take the bullet with it and say, okay, I'm just going to pick him to win the PGA so we can let Rory have his moment, because it seems like the longer I hold out, the more punished I get. And he's going to be minus 150 to win a tournament at some point, and I'm just going to be ranting, and then he's just going to go. How he won, I honestly think it was more impressive that he won the week after the Masters. That to me seems impossible. I cannot believe he won that tournament.
I had Wyndham Clark, and I'm watching that putt go down in the hole and pop out, and I almost, like, my girlfriend, she went nuts, Pat. She almost broke a window. Down to that fucking guy. Like, because we were going to win. I'm like, woo, playoff, here we go. Got this guy huge. She was so angry, like, more like, I was just like, hey, honey, this is golf. I was pissed. Like, I'm not going to say my blood was boiling, but how does that not go in? Like, that's our luck. Like, it's just like everything this guy touches turns to gold. And you want to know why, Pat? It's because golf doesn't give a shit. He's got a family. He's got the Lord. He's got everything. He doesn't worry about things. Like Rory's like, I want to win. And all these other guys. That's why Scotty Scheffler wins. He's competitive, but he doesn't make golf his only thing in life. He's got the baby coming, the wife, the Lord. Hallelujah. He's got a lot of things working for him. And you know what? His nonchalant attitude, that's what you need in golf. You can't be like me, like Tyrell Hatton smashing clubs and stuff like that, even though he's a player. Like you want the demeanor of Scheffler. It's like, took a bogey. Who gives a shit? Next hole. It's a good way to be.
It's easier said than done, I think, Ben.
I mean, we'll see. It felt for a long time that Spieth was never going to, like, he had that run where he won. It was like 2 majors in a row, and he almost won the 3rd. And then stuff happens, and Scheffler looks like he broke golf. But it can't go on for, like, I'm still adamant that he's gonna have his ebbs and flows like anyone else. Now maybe he just keeps rattling him off, but there's so many good players out there that I can't wait to see it, but I'm out of excuses. The guy is unbelievable now.
He really is. And Spieth, I don't know how you guys feel. He's definitely hurt. There's something wrong with Jordan Spieth. He's nursing an injury. He doesn't look right to me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but he's the one sticking in these tournaments and not withdrawing.
Yeah, you're right. Got to hand it to him. He's still grinding. How's the get-along gang doing? Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, like Spieth. Like, it's amazing. These guys were on top of the world. Now look at them. Everson, you know what it is, Pat? You're the only guy I know that's had a kid that's done better in his career. Once these guys have kids, they're done. That's what's going to happen. Scheffler's going to have a kid. He's going to have a nanny there. He's not going to get a proper night's sleep. And he's going to go, that's the move. We're going to fade him after. It's not the baby bump. It's the opposite with Scheffler. It's the kid with colic bump. Like I was, and drove my mother nuts. And she sent me over to the neighbor's house, and I'd stare at the canary. It was the only thing that would shut me up. And that's what's going to happen with Scheffler. He better get he's got so much money, he can build a chamber in his house, like special soundproof rooms, but he still wants to be around the child. Maybe the child cries a lot. Just saying.
Okay. So there's the anti-Scheffler spin if you're going to go bet major season in golf moving forward. I actually had some of your favorites, Ben, last week come second and third for me on Live. I bet Louis and Charles. Of course, they came second.
Oh yeah, that's the ticket.
Oh yeah, Louis and Charles. South Africa, go get him.
There's some dudes. There's some dudes in Europe. Like I've been.
Who do you guys
BP
like this
World
week?
Tour.
Actually, Pat, our network's picking up Live on Thursday and Friday. Like, I got to get some Live bets in this week. I already bet Abraham answer. You got some.
I do.
I got questions. You got answers?
Yeah, I do. It's not answer. I just straight up bet Cam Smith at 12-1.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That guy's just too damn good.
And Sergio top 10 for this Singapore course.
Oh, I like Sergio. He's playing better. Sergio's got a little bit of a bounce in his step now. He's playing better golf.
Yeah, this is Sergio's track. He's won here before. He lost in a playoff to Gooch a year ago because they've played at this course on the Asian Tour since 2005. So there's a lot of guys in this field who have experience here. If you want like a super bomb, maybe not to win, but you want like a top 10 bet, top 20 bet, top 5 bet, Scott Vincent, Cam, is the guy you need to be looking at.
Scott Vincent.
Zimbabwe,
wow, is that another? It's another South African. What's with you and South Africans?
No, he's Zimbabwe, isn't he?
Zimbabwe.
He's Zimbabwe. Sorry, I thought you had friends in Johannesburg. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know he's Zimbabwe.
These are the guys that you need to know.
How many Zimbabwe golfers are out there?
Not many.
Was Nick Price? Not Nick Price. Was it Nick Price?
No, Nick Price was South African.
Was he?
I'm almost positive.
I have no idea.
Let's find this out. We got to know Nick Price here.
There was a Zimbabwe golfer who was good though. Nick Price, yeah.
Is it Nick Price?
Nice.
Good call, Pat. He
All right.
is. Yeah, Zim. No, it says he was born in Durban, South Africa. But
Brandon De Jong.
yes,
Ah,
that guy's huge. I saw him live at the Canadian Open. He's a big boy, man.
So listed under Zimbabwe male golfers. Nick Price is listed under Zimbabwe male golfers. And so is Kieran Vincent and Scott Vincent, both on Live.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it does.
What about
it does.
Patty, you've been watching Stephen Ames play lately on the senior tour?
Did he win this
That
week?
I don't know, man. All I know is that guy collects paychecks. And him and Charles, we talk about corn eating contest. Sharp teeth, sharp game. Stephen Ames, man, this guy's really figured it out when he's getting older. Like I watch senior tour golf. I enjoy it. I like watching the old guys.
Well, when do we get to that point where I guess it's when we become of that age? Because all of the people that we've watched for like 25 years, Ben, are just going to be on the senior tour at some point. Do we just become fans of the senior tour then?
Yes.
Because that doesn't seem to translate, though.
It translates for me, Pat. I'm 49. Next year, I am a senior. I qualify for the senior tour. So I gotta get in there. Like, Steve Stricker, I'm watching Retief Goosen. These are guys I grew up with. I like all golf. It's amazing what Nelly Corda's doing too. We're not even talking about the LPGA. Pretty impressive.
Hey, you're betting all tours these days, huh?
Everything, Pat. If it moves, you can bet on it. That's Mo Sislak from The Simpsons. That's best line ever.
So, I mean, this is a hypothetical at the moment, but Ben, I'll try to gauge your prediction on this. So we made a box trifecta with 5 horses in it on each of the lines. When it comes time to actually submit these wagers, how many horses on each line do you think that Cam will actually have?
you gotta round up a little bit. And yeah, it gets a dangerous game though, because it's like when you're out at the bar and you're having a good time and then the bill comes and you're like, wait a minute. Like, I didn't realize adding that 6th horse on that line. All of a sudden it's a pretty penny with these tickets. But at the same time, you gotta have a plan, because with 20 horses, if you're like, I'm picking 3 horses, you can do that, but you gotta realistically know, you need a miracle to strike. You need a couple extra horses in there.
Let me tell you, Pat, I'd rather spend money on horses. I went to New York for a week. Okay. So I take my girlfriend, we go to the Devils game. Everything's included, not drinks. Pharrell takes me, amazing, great seats next to Ken Danico, double vodkas and tall boys. I spent 400 and something American that night. I'm like, okay. Then I go to the Islander game. I'm like, honey, we should probably get some train drinks going and like with a bag here and do it right. Anyway, we get to the game. A tall boy and a double vodka is 57 US. Or it was 62. It was 62. I got a Dos Equis. It was more. I'm like, okay. So I'm Canadian, so I'm spending $80 for a couple of drinks. My girlfriend crushes guys drinking. You know me. I can get it going. When I take my metformin for diabetes and I get on the train, spend like $1,000 in drinks. I'm like, honey, we're never going to New York again unless like we need train drinks, all inclusive, 2 weeks. That's the only way to go.
Ben, Cam was in New York and didn't come and see you.
I know that hurts, man. I'm
Sorry,
right there.
Ben. No, you don't understand. It was tough. I had to go to the Devils game. I know what that's I should have gone.
Should have yeah, the poor Isles. I hope you weren't at game 3. I mean,
No, I want actually both teams that I bet on won, and as Pat knows, my luck, my main betting source. I didn't want to call a buddy to say put in bets for me, so I had this loser street book that I'm betting on, like with maximums. I had the Islanders. They came back and beat the Canadians in overtime, the 3-2 game with Paul Mary's winner, and then I went to the Leafs, who actually beat the Devils when I went there. And let me tell you something, hockey fans. You go to friggin' ACC with these fucking losers and their sushi and roast beef, putting everyone to sleep. I go to a Devils game. It's death metal. The Devils mascots, like, we're crowd surfing. And even at the Islander game, it's like a pickup joint. It's like Tinder. All like younger, like my girlfriend's like, what's the deal here? Like, there's all these young chicks in Islander jerseys and they're with the dude. It was almost like a date night. I'm telling you, I had more fun at those games than any Leaf game. Like, and I've been to playoff games and stuff. See, Pat, you're a smart guy. That's the whole problem. Corporate ruins fun. And I'll tell you, the Islanders and Devils might suck shit. That was a great experience. I don't know if you've been to the Rock, Ben, but I had a great time.
Been to the Rock, yeah. Cool stadium. Not a big, Devils and the Rangers clash a little bit, but I respect them.
How is you're not in the city, Ben, but I feel like you get the vibes. With the Knicks doing well, the Rangers doing well. Has the city been alive?
The city is alive. The vibe at MSG is real right now. It'll end probably, particularly with the Rangers. I think a lot of people, I know the President's Cup curse is what it is, but like they can do it. Not to go on a hockey tangent on the show. Like I respect Carolina a lot. But they can beat these teams, and we'll see where the oil go on the other side. But the vibes are good for this Rangers team right now.
I have a Rangers Dallas Stars parlay bet. I think it's 28-1 that they'll meet in the final. Now that Dallas is back, I think
that was gutsy last night.
Yeah, it was a great win for me. I smashed Dallas last night. So yeah, Pat, no more hockey, but yeah, no. Ben, are you in New York City? Are you New Jersey, or like you don't live in Manhattan?
I'm right above the city.
Okay.
Right above New York City. So
you must be doing quite well. See, Pat, he's hitting more bets than he's telling us because that place is expensive.
Yeah,
man.
well,
you're telling me.
He just won a bunch of scratch tickets. I mean, that was the only way to do it.
That's how you supplement it.
That's
easy game.
I paid my Manhattan rent with scratch tickets.
Excellent. No problem.
Wow, that city just crippled me financially, Pat.
That's why we need to hit this triple. We need this triple.
Yes,
it's coming through.
My Visa bill's like $5,000. I was just like, hey man, my girlfriend wants to go for oysters, whatever. Like I'm on vacation. I got to do it. So that's the way life is. It's time to make some money. Let's roll.
Yeah. I was thinking about taking a trip to New York, like a weekend with my wife.
You better win some money, Pat.
It was either going to be there or London. So I don't think I'm going to come out on the winning end of either one of those.
London. That's a
lot. Go to Zimbabwe.
Flight. Yeah, go to Zimbabwe.
That's cheap.
Your boy.
Promise you.
You have to remember, I'm a lot closer to London than you are.
Yeah, I hate flying. I have a new rule, like over 5 hours, I almost don't go anymore.
Well, it's not 5 hours to London for me is the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours to New York, 4 hours to London.
Fair enough. You got to do what you got to do. Whatever the Mayo family tells you to do, you will do. New York's fun though. Like don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful city. I love it, but being a Canadian there, you're just getting fleeced. Like our money's a joke. It sucks.
Yes. That would be absolutely true. All right, Cam, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Well, Pat, you know me, just doing my thing with Sports Grid. I got a hockey show with Camera 2 Drew, friend of the program, coming up too. And on our network, we got Live Golf this week. So I might be getting on you guys on some DMs. I need top 10s, 20s, and a winner. Haven't bet too much Live, but this week we're involved. So Thursday and Friday, we got coverage on the network on Sports Grid. Pat, enjoy the golf, enjoy the bets. And the scratch tickets. Ben, I always love seeing you, man. I wish we could do this more than once a year. And I feel bad now that I didn't know we were like really in that close to Manhattan, or else I would have done something about it. I'm an idiot.
Next time, we'll celebrate.
This is a great move by Sports Grid, by the way, of getting Live. I hear, Ben, that they average like 2 billion viewers per. Just don't ask them where the viewers come from, but they're averaging it, I hear.
That's true. Again, Zimbabwe, they got that market. They just gotta monopolize.
Hey, it's better for me too, Pat. I get off an hour earlier. So for me and Morency, we get off a little bit earlier. We bet some live golf. Can't beat it. I don't know what they must have got a good. You know what, Pat? That is a good move by them because it's probably not that expensive. You would think, like getting on the ground floor with this stuff. Like CHCH in Canada covers live golf. I know them. They're running episodes of Batman and like Hogan's Heroes.
I'm pretty sure that they just take the coverage. They just like, hey, Liv, can we air this on TV? And Liv's like, sure, that sounds great.
Oh yeah. Good call.
Because I can still watch it on YouTube on my phone if I want to.
Interesting.
Ben, what is happening over at Odd Shopper?
Yeah, obviously great time of the year. MLB, NBA, NHL. I will be in the Discord because that's the one thing we didn't mention, and I know for this show, the Derby is amazing. There are races all day, good races with a bunch of other horses that I will be getting my sweat on. So, of course, if you're looking for that stuff, if you're looking for tools, if you're looking to have some fun and good community, oddshopper.com. We'd love to have you. It's going to be a really fun week, though. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, one of the things I've been doing, I'm a member over at Odd Shopper, so you can use Odd Shopper, then you use code Mayo at Underdog Fantasy, get that match deposit of up to $100. So you deposit 100, you're an insta winner by doubling your money. So double your money up to 200, then use the tools over at Odd Shopper and try to turn that 200 into 200,000 or something like that. I mean, you probably shouldn't go all in on just one entry.
Ben's right though, Pat. Ben's right. Sorry, he like if you're gonna enjoy the horses, and I'm a hockey, basketball guy too, Ben. Like I bet every sport, and I love every sport, but you got to watch this thing before the Kentucky Derby. Like, it's the biggest prize pools going. Like I know the big race, but this is the one day. Like everybody's betting. Like this is the thing. If you're gonna nail it, this is the day to do it. And there's gonna be some crazy underdogs to come in, right? Like this isn't a standard bred race where the pools are shit. Like this is gonna be. You can make a lot of money on Derby Day if you hit a couple bombs. So I think it's very important. Talk to Ben. He knows horse racing. He'll lead you in the right direction. That's for sure.
I do not watch anything besides the Derby on horse racing day.
That's fine. I know what I've always loved about you, Pat, your honesty. You're like,
yeah,
I don't like fucking the Leafs. I don't hockey. It's not my thing. Whatever. You tell the truth. Like I love the Canadian Football League. You're not a fan. Like you like what you like, and you've been honest about it. And that's all that matters. I just love everything. Like I gotta, gambling is just part of my life. Like I wake up and think about going to a casino. Like that's most people think about, kissing their wife, hugging your child. Yeah.
I just spent 5 days in Vegas and I didn't actually play a single table game.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That is
is that true?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to take this information.
It's been beat out of me. Like I don't care anymore.
I wish I had that. That's the thing. I say this all the time. I love to bet sports. I take it super seriously. I love to gamble. Sure. I love to like roulette, scratch off, all the things you shouldn't do. I keep it separate, but man, do I love when the dice are in the air as well.
Ben, my favorite thing when I get to Vegas, I go for a nice breakfast at Dupar's. I start drinking. I bet ponies with the old guys. It leads into table games in the afternoon and sports betting at night. That's just the way I roll all night long. You might see me if I'm on a heater, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd still be there talking to some people, grifters, seniors, anybody. It's fun.
It's one of these things where I only ever go to Vegas to work. And then if I'm in work mode, then I don't really want to do anything else. I'm just kind of beat the entire time. And then I just don't feel like playing table games. I feel like if I was there, like I will play more table games at the casino here because I'm the exact same way as you guys. I do love to gamble, but I don't know. There's just something different about it when you go to work somewhere it's a different frame of mind, I think.
I get that.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, I'm just maybe a bad employee and I'll show up hungover and wasted and still do the show, Pat. That's just you've seen it before.
Hey,
you caught me in New York that night. That was a late one.
That Cam, that wasn't night. That was 11 o'clock in the morning.
Sorry. I should probably not tell anybody that. But that's what happens when I go on vacation. Sometimes I start late. We go out and the party just keeps on going. Hey, if your lady wants to stay up, and I go, I'm doing a show with Mayo, and I am absolutely wasted. But they always seem to work out. Nobody does a show drunk better than me, right, Pat?
I would tend to agree. The people responded very favorably to that episode. They said it's a Mount Rushmore performance from Cam.
I got to be honest with you, though, doing it is not too bright. Like, it's probably not the right thing to do, but I've had 2 classics on your show where I've literally, like, been up partying for, like, 24 hours, and not slurring words. We're getting through it. Like, it's kind of a bloody miracle, to be honest with you. It's something I'm not proud of.
It's okay. The show turned out fantastically. So Ben Rasa, Cam Stewart, follow them both wherever you have your social medias. You can follow me at ThePME. This was presented by Underdog Fantasy. Code Mayo at Underdog Fantasy will get you that deposit match of up to $100. Good luck with the bets at the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks, and whatever you do end up wagering on. And whether it's scratch tickets, baccarat, mini baccarat, craps, keno, doesn't matter what it is. I hope you're a winner, all right? I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo experience! Experience!